Yes. Episode 1, pilot. Welcome to the channel. I'm Lewis.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Steve.
Welcome to Three Sides of the Mic.
So basically who we are and what we are is three average Joe men, if you will. Different sizes, different shapes, all from different walks of life, good mates, and basically here to just talk a bit of shit and share it with anyone that wants to listen. If you want to listen, you're more than welcome to. Subscribe, obviously click the button. I've been waiting so long to say that. And if you don't, then it isn't for you, you know, but here we are. I'll introduce myself. So my name's Charlie Belton, I'm 29, 30 this year, getting old. A bit overweight, a bit hairy. Yeah, here I am. Work full time at a production facility in Sandwich. A few bits and bobs, here we are. I won't delve too much into my personal life. But yeah, just an idea that we all come up with, and thought we'd share it online and see where it goes.
Fair enough. Yeah, so obviously my name's Steve. 30 years old, slightly older than Charlie. As you like to say, we're getting old. It sometimes feels like it, sometimes feels like I'm still 12 years old.
Yeah,
certainly act like it.
Looks 46.
Looks 46, hard paper round, if I even had one.
Like hard paper round.
But yeah, trained as a car mechanic pretty much straight out of school. Bounced around a few different jobs. I was actually production based with Charlie for a while. At one stage in our career. Currently now engineering, involved with trains and the railway kind of side of things, without getting too specific. Yeah, still mess about cars on days off. Kind of running a business on the side. I was self-employed for a little while as a mobile mechanic, so still do bits of that. Keeps me busy, earns me a bit of extra money. I'm sure we can all agree there's never enough money at the moment, this day and age.
You're always chasing as well,
yeah, always chasing it and not working too much. The missus certainly agree with that. Yeah, but in the same sense, I like to keep myself busy, which again we'll probably delve right into within this podcast, keeping ourselves busy and the reasons why we do it and everything else. So yeah,
Definitely with some of the episodes we've got planned as well.
Yeah,
100%.
Right, we got 8 weeks planned.
Yeah, give or take.
Or 8 podcasts
8
planned.
weeks in a rough plan, but I think also it would be interesting to see how much this just kind of grows and maybe changes on the fly anyway. I'm very
and
open
how we'll deal with it as
Yeah,
well. Like
that's
how
what I mean,
we talk
yeah.
to the camera and how like we talk and the way we interact.
Yeah,
It's gonna change
this is
quite
it.
a lot.
I mean,
it's
we're
more comfortable.
This is it. We've set up the computer you already had and a £15 mic that I found by
Yeah.
chance. So it's going to be interesting to see where this does evolve to and from. And that's what I mean. Like we've got an 8-week plan. There's a rough guide. You may well find actually we completely go off course from that and follow a different.
The flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, my name's Lewis Stocking. Again, 30 years old. Field service engineer working on a heavy plant. Done that for a long time now, especially on the railway. Yeah, it's pretty much been my life. Run a business a couple of years ago, but yeah, started working a full-time job still. We've all known each other for a long time.
We have actually, yeah.
Well, actually went to the same school, just obviously different years. Steve was
Steve
above me.
Steve graduated in 99.
42.
Back with old hammer and chisel and a bit of stone.
Ulster. Yeah, so we've all known each other quite a while.
Three different years actually, wasn't it?
3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
You were below me,
Yeah, I was below you.
and you were above me.
That's crazy.
So I was a sandwich.
Yeah, because in school we didn't actually really knock about with each other. It was
No,
like,
we
it was
didn't really know
afterwards.
each other.
I knew you, didn't I?
We knew each other.
From the school trips.
We were quite. Me and you were quite similar, but obviously in our own
groups. Yeah.
Yeah, very outgoing, very like, very not outspoken, but like
Out there, I'll say. Yeah.
Definitely wasn't me at that age.
And yeah, you were certainly the ringleader, if you will, looking back at it now. Which
so good.
Which I'm sure some of these stories will probably come out along the way. Some of our absolute dickhead stories involving cars, bikes, and
man.
Well, that's how we got to know each other.
everything in between. Yeah.
We were starting out in cars.
That was engines.
The old boy racer days back in McDonald's car park.
Wait, what was your first car?
My first car was a Rover Metro. I know it's going to make it sound even older. 1993. It was as old as I was. L-Reg, 1.1 litre carburetted fucking Rover Metro.
Classic.
Did have central locking. That was about the best. It got one button.
So that one down windows.
Yeah, but what was the PSA resistance of that car? It was a shocks, wasn't it? The fact that
Or they called it hydroelastic or
hydroelastic shocks.
no springs, just shocks. I mean, I don't know how many people
Really?
watch this community cars.
Not torture bar.
Not torture
No,
bar.
no, literally, you could drop them just by dropping the fluid out.
Really?
Yeah.
So
No.
I was friends. We won't mention his name. You probably both know who I was on about. Was a pretty sizable chap. He was kind of my best mate at the time. But yeah, he was a bit of a lump. So when he got in the car, it would scrub the arches on that side, where it just sagged over the years. I was fine with it. Never noticed the problem. But he'd get in and it would scrub the arches. So yeah, spoke to my boss at the time because I was still very early into the trade. He had to borrow a tool because it wasn't a very common tool then, and you'd literally connect it and you'd just pump fluid into the shocks, and it would do one side at a time, and then you'd raise the other side up, and it looked ridiculous. And then of course he'd get in it, and go back down.
So they use them on like heavy machinery.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Shaper valve?
Yeah.
Schrader?
Yeah,
valve or something?
Sway valve, isn't it?
Schrader valve,
Yeah,
it's just the same
that's
as a bicycle.
Yeah.
That's what it was, yeah.
No.
Yeah, people modified them and put like Volkswagen suspension, I think, on them when you wanted to go coilovers and stuff. But obviously I never got into that on that car, thank God. Might be something a bit better.
We say that, but then they're worth dough now.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
See, that's when you start making me feel old when you start saying that. Like, oh yeah, I scrapped one of them.
Yeah, but then look at the other cars that we've had.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for me, Starlet GT Turbo, Fiat
Yeah.
Coupe, Punto GT.
Mm.
I mean, however many
Is that a
VXLs.
silver GT Turbo?
Yeah.
Oh, but that was cool.
They're fucking cool as fuck, right?
Love that.
Rotten as a dog, but
Locally well known, that car.
yeah.
It's passed about a bit.
Oh mate, it was a slag. One thing you will realise is that we're not looking for clicks, sort of likes, shares, that sort of stuff, or certainly not any sort of monetisation. We will come up with some F's and Jeffs and whatever else, and if it ain't for you, then so be it. But we will try and sort of stay on the green side of politics, and however many genders there are.
I don't think we should get into that.
Which is arguable, but right about now we're
Yeah, we'll toe that line when it comes to
yeah, that we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But to be fair, this episode probably is going to be a bit of like a meet and greet for us.
Yeah.
Probably finding our feet, and then we'll touch on sort of what sort of brought us to this idea, really. Your sort of mental health side, and whatever else, which I think everyone's struggling. Everyone's got their own battles, and regardless of what walk of life you're from, you kind of feel isolated in a world full of people.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly how I explained it. Was when I was asked what a target audience was, what the outcome of this wanted to be. It was actually almost flipped it on its head, and it wasn't about the outcome. It was more about actually just getting us talking.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, we might as well throw it at a podcast and see what comes of it. That sense, we're not targeting anybody. We don't want to toe an exact line. If it gets us talking about our own problems, then
So say we was referring to this episode, like how again, like just to go to in the pilot episode of like why we are actually doing this. Like mental health has been like it's played a massive part into why we want to do this. You know,
if anything, it's actually brought us all closer together.
Yeah,
100%.
The things that we struggled with that we thought we were dealing with on our own. Actually, it turns out that we're all going through the same thing, very very similar, but slightly in a different way.
Yeah.
And so obviously we all wanted to do something about it, and obviously Charlie's like a good advocate for going to like meeting up like different clubs with like different guys, you know, and actually talking about it. So obviously we thought to ourselves, why don't we just start our own podcast where there's no stigmatisation on like the mental health side, where we can actually talk about like how we're feeling about being someone different where we're not comfortable in.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously we're in our kitchen. Again, you know, filming on a £15 microphone with the camera that's on the computer, because obviously for us, like Charlie said, this is not about it's not about getting views or clicks or likes or anything. It's about us just being able to freely talk about what our problems actually are in a comfortable environment where we don't feel pressured into, you know, sort of saying where our major problems are, you know, to other people that we don't know. Because again, when you go to like different clubs, or you go to, it's almost like alcoholic, like AA, isn't it? Just, you know, you talk to loads of like random people that you don't know, free friends, talking about their issues, their situation, and the mental health problems that we are facing and the things that we're going through at different times, but still going through the same thing. So
I think as well the biggest thing is just to have a laugh and smile.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
just joke about
you
it.
know, if we're all on here for an hour a week, say, I mean, we might not last an hour.
3 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds, depending on who you are and who you ask.
Sounds familiar.
It's a wet one.
But yeah, you know, if we invest an hour in talking a bit of shit over a YouTube video and share it with someone else who can maybe somewhat relate, then for me that's a positive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, we all go through our shit. I spent the last sort of couple of years sort of penned up in my own sort of faults, which I'm sure will come out at some point.
Yeah.
But for me, you can earn more money. You can do other things in life, but what you can't buy is time. And all the time that you can sort of smile and have a laugh, then so fucking be it. You know. For me, an hour-long podcast, you know, maybe an hour and a half or whatever, is time well invested, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
Just being able to reach out to other people that are watching or listening to this.
absolutely.
And
Mate.
actually, there's a certain aspect that you can relate to, because I don't know about you guys, but I found that some of like the motivational podcasts or videos that I've seen, they're all generalised into here's your motivation.
Yeah.
Like this is what your motivation should be. But instead it's like
Work
actually
harder,
like
do this,
yeah.
every day is
Like,
about
Be a man.
Everything can be solved, but in fact, actually, sometimes you need a bit of help.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of answers to the specific things that you're going through. Especially me, you, and all of us. You know, we're all going through something. And again, a lot of the podcasts are generalised. They're all like motivation videos, but what you need is something more personalised.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to get help. Charlie's got to get help.
Yeah.
We've done this.
Well,
Maybe it might help for you, but definitely talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's being more personable as well.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all very well seeing a Gucci picture of a lion with a bit of trap music over the background saying be a better man and be this and be that.
Yeah.
But realistically, you've got 3 geezers that are working 50, 60 hour weeks in
Wow, I wish.
well, yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But in a kitchen talking a bit of shit in your sort of average clobber and your average Joe sort of get up, then I think it's, like I say, it's more personable, and it's certainly more applicable to the sort of people I surround myself with.
Yeah.
And I know that have got their own shit going on. You know, it's another thing as well for me. It's all very well going to doctors, taking these tablets, and obviously they'll sign you off on whatever nowadays, depending on how many legs or genders you got. But being realistic, a conversation can change someone's day. And I was going to say something really appropriate then, but I'm not going to say it, and I don't want it to be blurred out because it's funny and it's rolling off.
Say it.
Alright, take your top off and it makes my whole week. Do you know what I mean?
Boy or girl.
Boy or girl, yeah. No, don't worry, I don't bat for that team, guys.
To be fair, like a couple of days ago we were sat in the kitchen going, like, what, you know, how are we going to approach this? And Charlie was just sat there with his top off going, I'm really hot.
Yeah,
Right.
fucking boiling, mate.
Okay.
That's why the blinds are blowing through, because I'm sweating out all the time.
Yeah. It's your size, so you're just taking your wings.
No, it's all good. But yeah, no. So that's sort of why we're here, really. As I say, the agenda today is probably your mental health. What are we doing about it? Not sort of what we're struggling with. How's our week been? That kind of stuff. Where did this sort of start for me? I'll move on to sort of my sort of story. You know, I've had quite a couple of good relationships with very fortunate women, which I won't delve too much into. But my biggest thing, and I'll say it openly, is rejecting love. And sort of my self-worth. So
rejecting love.
Rejecting love, yeah, man, 100%.
Not feeling worthy of it.
Yeah, not feeling worthy of it. And I felt like that for a very long time. And ultimately, there comes a time where you isolate yourself so much that you've got to do something about it, right? And yeah, this year I kind of realised that massively. I, you know, reached out, got help, but ultimately the biggest thing for me is accountability. I've made mistakes, I've made errors, and I've pushed good people away, and I've got to do something about that. You know, it's got to be a catalyst, but there's also got to be accountability. And ultimately, if there's anyone wants to help someone or help themselves, it's got to start from within. You've got to want to do something about it. You know, you sit on your arse all day. Not to quote Andrew Tate, you know, we've all got opinions of him, but sit at home wanking off watching porn all day, you're going to feel like shit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You really are going to feel like shit.
It's that mental focus as well,
yeah,
isn't it? You really lose that. So obviously you say, like, getting help, you've been through quite a lot, so you're getting help now?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So, but what was your breaking point? Like, what made you go and get that help? Like, what that time when you thought everything was fine, but then you realised actually nothing was fine and everything was wrong. What made you go and get that help?
I think for me the biggest thing is looking back at the past and looking at what I've lost.
Right.
You know, I've had a house, I've had really nice cars over the years. These guys will know me. I've had 30, 40 cars that people would dream of. You know, I'm not going to go there naming them, but cars that I always wanted growing up.
Apologies too.
Yeah, Fit Pinto Sporting. Yeah, I've had cars that I dreamed of growing up, and for me, looking back now, I know I was filling a void. Last December, I bought my realistic dream car. I'm not going to tell anyone what it is. Keep myself to myself.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
But for the first time, I felt nothing. You know, I really felt nothing over something so large in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a house with an amazing girl, an amazing
goals,
partner.
right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. These were all goals that we were sold us. You know, as a kid growing up, get your house. You know, get your wife, get your nice car, and work till you're 65 and die.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I've had all these things.
The dream forcing you.
It is a dream.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, when you're young, you're like, oh yeah, when I retire.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we waiting until we fucking retire?
Yeah.
You know.
Like, yeah. So yeah, I think we're all on the same page with that.
Absolutely, man. And I think it's
Wait until you're too old to be able to do it. But that's when you're supposed to have your life sorted, because that's when your money's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're supposed to be worry free, but now you're not able because you've waited your whole life to get there.
Yeah, and it's getting harder and harder. And you know, like I say, I travelled 5 or 6 hours to buy my dream car. And you know, all I could think about was getting home, getting into bed, like getting up for work the next day.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the drive home because I was stressed. You know.
It's mad for such a big goal.
I mean, you guys know the car I've got, right? It's pretty. It's for me, it's life changing. A lot of people dream that. Yeah, and I could insure it. I could financially afford it. You know, at the time I had a nice flat with a partner, and all I could think about was getting home, getting back to bed, and getting up the next morning, because I was so in my mind. I didn't feel worthy to enjoy that moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then
trapped in your own routine.
yeah, absolutely. And that come at a good time. You know, I had Christmas off. I had all that time off in between. I had time to rest, but all I could think about was getting up the next day and getting back to work and getting back to the gym. Yeah, fuck it, be massive. You know, do whatever you need to do. But realistically, I should have just taken a step back, enjoyed the journey, enjoyed the moment. I mean, even the photos, guys, look, you're not going to see much into my personal life. I'm not on socials, and that's how I like it. But even the photos of me standing next to the car, I look fucking miserable. Honestly, I look like I've just been one bang. And, you know, for me, looking back at it now, you know, the partner I was with at the time, she was more excited than I was. You know, and looking back at it now, I just think, what a fucking donut. I wasted that moment. Yeah. And now, you know, and it's like today driving home from work, sunglasses on. The new J. Cole album's out as well, and it's really good. So if you're into music, the new J. Cole album's fucking good. You know, the sun's out, and I'm in the car, my dreams, and I had my sunglasses on, and for the first time in my life, I sat there and thought, you know what, I am fucking lucky. You know, I really am lucky to have this vehicle, to have the lifestyle that I live. Don't get me wrong, I've worked hard for it, as these boys have. These boys have worked fucking hard for everything they've got. And, you know, for me, in my opinion, there's always room to work hard, there's always room to be better. But there's also room and time to take a step back and be like, do you know what, I actually fucking deserve this.
Yeah.
And I never gave myself that, you know. Working 2 jobs at the time to afford that car and to afford all these things, working 7 days a week, which unfortunately come from a place of neglect to myself. I was punishing myself for something that I didn't even know.
Yeah. Subconsciously.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah. And I'm not talking about, you know, I wasn't suicidal. You know, there's people out there that really are suffering, have had absolute trauma in their life. But that come from a different place of an absolute lack of value to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I've been, as you guys know, I've been training 4 or 5 years at the gym. I've completely transformed the way I looked. Mm-hmm. If you'd have said to me 5 years ago you'd look the way I do today, I'd be like, no way. Moving the weight that I am, with the car I've got, with the, you know, the stature I've got, the tattoos and all that. But the truth is, it doesn't mean shit. If this ain't working up here.
Yeah.
I mean, as we all know, right? We've all got nice things, and I'm sure people watching this might, you know, will have nice things, and they'll have things in life that they really look forward to owning and having. But I never gave myself that time to sort of take that in.
I think that's probably where a lot of, like, not the stigmatization, but a lot of, like, the culture of the men is it. That's, we all think like that, I think, and we don't give ourselves enough of the opportunity to be able to oh, all we've got to do is work. We just got to do this. We just got to work a bit more, a bit harder. But like you say, we need to just take a little bit of time out.
Yeah.
Because we're all guilty of it.
Absolutely, mate.
We're
all are. Yeah.
Guilty of going, oh, do you know what? I've been working for 14 days straight now. Yeah. Nah, it's fine. I'll just carry on. And then all of a sudden you crash. Like you personally know me. Like I do days, nights, and everything in between.
Mate, you crash like fuck.
And so, and then you won't hear from me for weeks.
No.
That was before I got help.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Obviously not taking over still because obviously we've got quite a lot of the podcast left, but yeah, so a couple of weeks ago I decided that actually enough was enough. Something clicked in my head and I was like, no, getting help now, and it's definitely helping. Again, Steve, you live with me, and I hope you've seen a difference so far.
Yeah, it definitely is a big changing point for you.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well is conversation between us three.
Yeah.
So we had a chat on the Xbox one that where we all opened up and pretty much all ended up in tears, apart from Steve, because Steve's 46.
He's been through it 10 times.
Yeah, he's been through it 10 times over. The only thing he's crying about is his wrinkles.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
We did have that conversation, man. I was in bits.
That's actually where this all started.
It generally is, mate. But the thing is, what does that come from? Communication and talking.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And that generally does, mate.
But that's the effects of quite a lot of things in life as well, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah.
You've got no communication, a lot of things break down.
Absolutely.
And it's obviously you've got to be confident with yourself to be able to go, do you know what, actually enough's enough. I need to start communicating.
Yeah.
The moment you start communicating is the moment you're actually going to start like leaps and bounds. You're going to be taking steps in the right direction.
It's the old cliche phrase, isn't it? We make comments about my age now, which is the problem shared is the problem halved.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
You are old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's right. He's right. The problem shared is the problem halved.
It never feels like it at the time, and we're probably all guilty of that.
It's a bad thing, isn't it?
Even to this day, it's still like, no, I can deal with that on my own. I'll get on with that. Yeah, it's not a problem. Be fine. Just swallow it, or you
until
work
it gets
a
too
bit
much.
harder. Yeah, and it's definitely me all over. You see it all the time, even with the gym and everything else, which obviously is supposed to be another release. You let that slip because you think, well, it's not a priority at the moment. I'll focus on work. I'll focus on fixing whatever that problem is, and be that a money problem, a relationship problem.
Yeah.
You suddenly start changing your priorities, but then you realise actually you kind of go, yeah, the gym shouldn't be a priority. But then if it's helping your mental health, really it should be.
Yeah.
That should be one thing that's just a constant.
Well, it's your outlet, isn't it? It's your outlet.
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
It
should be.
Yeah, it is, mate. And life is a balance, right?
You know how much I'm struggling with that right now, is getting that balance right. It's unreal.
But then for me, like, this is where this podcast, like, free for us as free geezers, this is going to alleviate so much. I already feel. I'll be quite frank. On the way over, I didn't want to come in. No, I didn't want to come in. No, I had a bit of a wobble, and I'll be quite honest, mate. I had a really good day, and a few things happened, and I had a bit of a wobble, and I didn't want to come here. But now, already being here and talking about random shit, it really does take a weight off your shoulders. And one thing I will say as well is, if you're Fanet based, which obviously I don't know where our audience will be, is you've got Man Space Mondays and Thursdays. Monday at Margate Caves at 7 PM and Ramsgate Fire Station on Thursdays at 7 PM. The old fire station, that is. So if you're local, head down there. There's a few good guys down there. A chap called Craig and David. They both run that, and that for me as well was a huge wake up call. Going to a group of 30, 40 blokes that are feeling the same way as what you are from all walks of life. And it makes you realise you're not alone. All this sort of self-punishing, self-hate. I think from whatever it may be, trauma, depression, anxiety, you kind of name it. It really does alleviate and soften the blow. Just because that conversation's there, that door's always open. And we live in a digital world where we're all so guilty of friends, followers, and even when you have a shit, you're on your phone. Do you know what I mean? When you sat to someone 20, 30 years ago, they'll be like, "What are you up to?" Everyone was reading the backs of air fresheners and and yellow pages. But we all isolate ourselves so much. We really do. Whether it be work, personal, relationships, there's people out there to listen, man.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay for it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, obviously that's one of the biggest points, isn't it? It's obviously getting professional help can be quite expensive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But getting help in general, and especially in the local area, like Charlie's saying, like Manspace, there's local help that doesn't cost anything. Obviously, just go down and have a chat and just see where it goes.
But this starts of where what I said is you have to, like you said, you have to want to do it.
Yeah.
You've really got to know when enough's enough, and when you know like
that intervention point,
absolutely,
right?
mate. Like for me as well. Like I won't delve too much into my personal life, but this year, so my dad was quite unwell at the start of the year. I don't want sympathy. I don't want empathy. But I realised I'm 30 this year, and my dad there's a chance my dad will never meet my children, my future children, and that for me was huge. It's not something I've ever considered before.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know this subject hits you hard, and it's huge. But once again, that's a catalyst, right? You've got to turn that into a positive, into all right, fair enough. I've made some mistakes, I've made some errors, but here I am with 3 good guys talking shit for an hour on a weeknight, and that's the highlight of my week. And and I'm sure, obviously your situation as well. I won't delve into that whenever you're ready, but that's a catalyst, mate. You've got to turn that into a positive. This is the changing point in your life where you're going to be better for your children.
Yeah.
Ultimately, right?
Yeah, I like that. Use it as a turning point. It's a big one. I spoke about before amongst us 3. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
There was somebody. I think he was sat in a car. Somebody went up to his window. He went, 3 words to inspire me. And then what he said will shock most people, which is, "You're going to die." And at the start, you think, "Well, what? It's brutal." And you're like, do something about it. And he's like, do something about it. And he's smiling the whole time he's saying it, and he meant no malice in it.
No.
But what a wake-up call that can be for so many people.
Yeah.
And whether that is the fact that you're going to die, whether your dad might not meet your kids, or whether it's some other trigger point in your life, it's, sometimes you do just need to sit back, like you say, and think, okay, well, what can I do? I can act now and maybe just make the most of spending the time with him while he's there. Or certain things you want done in your life at certain times. But using it as a turning point is quite an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, because I said it right. We're all in absolute control.
Yeah, obviously,
you don't realise you are.
You don't realise you are. It's the situation you're in, right?
Because you're so far down.
Yeah.
You only
down the rabbit hole, mate.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're at your worst, you're at your worst. Don't matter who says what or who's dick waving, comparing, whatever it may be. When you're that low, it don't matter, does it?
Nah.
It really don't, mate.
I think obviously that was me.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks ago.
Absolutely, mate. It was, yeah.
You know yourself, mate, because you said it was sad that how bad I was getting.
Yeah.
And I was
it was hard to watch.
Yeah, and obviously that's the thing, isn't it? You don't realise until you're then surrounded by more people who actually love you, who are telling you that there's something wrong. But again, it takes for you to realise that yourself.
You've got to be open to hearing it.
You've got to be open to hearing it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to think someone's going, "Oh, fuck you!" Like you
just end up pushing them away. Then.
Instead of trying to push that person away, that person's telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Like that person's telling you there's something wrong. Like you have to want to listen to what they're saying. Sometimes you're not going to want to. Sometimes you're not going to listen to it. But hearing it is going to help more than not hearing it at all. And instead of pushing people away, you don't have to say anything. Just listen to what they've got to say. You don't have to like it.
No. And the thing is, you won't like it. You fucking won't.
You won't like it if you're in the position that we were all in, like fucking 6-8 fucking weeks ago, whatever. Like I wouldn't have fucking taken any shit. But now I'm just like, you know what? Actually, I'm fucking happy that someone else turned around and said, "There's a problem.
Yeah. Enough's enough.
Enough's enough."
Yeah.
Because then it was like, "No, you're fucking right. You're right.
Yeah.
Like let's change this now." And I think obviously, being the pilot episode, I think it's good to like sort of understand that baseline of where us 3 were at. So for like all the future episodes, like you understand the baseline of like why we're actually doing this. I think because obviously we're not going off topic, but if you guys are listening to us now and you're understanding like why we're doing this and obviously why we're putting forward this podcast, then you're going to understand all our future episodes more, and you're going to be in a better position to understand why even more like some of the episodes that we've got coming up was why we're doing it.
It's almost not a podcast as such. It's not like we're going to help people. Obviously, it will do in kind of the back end way. It's not like we're going to help people through their mental health or anything else. Like I say, it will. Hopefully, it will anyway.
It's a relation.
But it's more, in a sense, going to be a documentary of how we deal with things. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I say, already talking is going to help us. It already is helping you. And the more I open up, the more it will for me, and the same with yourself.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to watch this back and go, no, this is when this first episode was when this had just happened. The turning point for yourself.
Yeah.
You were at this level with dealing with relationships and whatnot. And obviously going to your man clubs and everything else. And me, in terms of help, not really doing a lot.
You just need to open up.
Yeah, which is obviously exactly
which is
what you're saying.
You're such a critical thinker.
Yeah, he is savage, isn't he?
Yeah, we'll see that. But it'll be interesting to see how that grows and how hopefully we can look back on whether we can even do a review and rewatch this
that'd be
episode.
good.
Well, like 10 episodes time. Remember that fucking episode?
Yeah. Look at us there.
Get a takeaway on that and just talk shit.
Yeah.
Anyone local sponsor us for takeaways, right? I'm a fatty and I fancy it. All right.
Nothing too fruity, you're not an Indian.
No. Whoa.
Takeaway.
Right, okay, guys.
So episode 1, like I said, it's to see basically how far we go with it, and the confidence level of all three of us when we're doing this. 'Cause again, this is our first episode. Like, we might be confident speakers to people in person.
I think we're doing alright, mate. I'm not going to lie.
I think we're doing alright.
Because
half hour in.
Yeah, we're half hour in.
So,
right? We haven't stopped. We haven't paused. I think you had a bit of a moment.
Yeah,
you had a bit of a moment, but we'll forget that. Actually, we might edit that out. How about that? But what you'll see is you'll probably we might get some t-shirts sort of done up, and you might see things grow. You might not, but what you will see is us uploading regularly, i.e. weekly. And if it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. But like Steve said, it's a guide for us, right? In 8 to 12 weeks' time, which is it's not long. It really isn't long.
No, blink and you miss it.
It's a blink, right? And we we'll be in different places. We'll be in better places, and hopefully we can help people along the way.
Yeah.
Have some laughs, have some chinwags, talk some shit. We will touch on different topics: cars, bikes. I don't think so much sports. Maybe boxing, if anything.
We're going to digress quite a lot.
Yeah. Not so much football. These boys aren't into football.
Not a lot of sports in general, really.
No.
Don't mind watching the odd bit of boxing.
Water sports?
Don't follow any true sports, really.
That wasn't a no.
Yeah, no comment. No, there's no sports I do follow at all, really. I can pretty much sit down and watch most.
But you like boxing, though, didn't you?
Yeah,
watched boxing before.
Boxing's it's interesting, but I couldn't follow it. I couldn't tell you what the latest fights were.
No, you said Fury.
Yeah, I know who Fury is, but that's about it.
But yeah, we'll digress obviously at times, and like there'll be times where we might be talking about our week, might be talking about what stressed us out, might be, I don't think we'll sort of delve too much into our personal lives. I think we're going to try and keep that a little bit separate.
Yeah, it will be hard not to in some sense.
I think it will.
To talk about a struggle you're going through without getting too much into the detail.
Yeah.
There's limits to what we can talk about anyway, but
might maybe share some bits about our bikes, cars, maybe some builds. Maybe some photos and what we're sort of planning. That'd be a good laugh. That we've all got a couple of bikes. You ain't selling yours yet.
Yet.
No, you're not. We've got Mayday, Margate's. Is it Margate? Margate Meltdown.
Margate Meltdown. Yeah.
And
there's Mayday as well if you wanted to do that one. But
Yeah.
that's very soon, isn't it?
How far is that?
Mayday.
Maybank holiday, innit?
Oh, it's downtown.
Yeah, that's a bit too close.
Yeah, it's way too. Yeah.
In the pipeline.
But yeah, and also so what we've been up to. The man space stuff is I will sort of help to promote that through the guys David and Craig, and I'll touch on that sort of later on, and also maybe touch on a bit of counselling. Obviously I have been through counselling. I'm still sort of, I'd say about 6 weeks in, 7 weeks in. That will be on pause for a moment due to sort of personal constraints in my life. But I'll touch on what I've learnt, sort of breathing techniques.
That still interests me. I know you mentioned that before.
Honestly, mate, it's massive. It really is massive. And then you've also got the victim triangle, which is very interesting. Which is victim, rescuer, there's something else.
Persecutor.
Something else, yeah.
Basically.
And so
I remember learning about that a long time ago from a random conversation in a vape shop.
Well, that's where you went wrong.
He was a lovely bloke. I can't remember his name, but he was in a vape shop in Margate. One of those, you go to pop in there for 5 minutes, put like 10 minutes parking on the car. Next thing, an hour later, I'm like, oh mate, I've probably got a parking ticket. But
did you get one?
No, I didn't, luckily. But some of the in-depth conversation we had, and it was the way he could just explain. I think it was mainly about the victim triangle, and the other one was transactional analysis, which I spoke to you about recently. And it was just the way you look at that, the way someone can take that victim role, and the way it will push you around that triangle. Maybe we'll probably pencil that in for maybe a further discussion.
Yeah.
Because I'd need to revisit it to completely understand it again. But yeah, it blew my mind at the time, the way you can really understand how your own situation actually, pretty much any situation, will bounce around that, and then especially with transactional analysis mixed in there as well. It's phenomenal. And obviously, as we've said, I like logical thinking. I know you do as well. When you can put things in black and white like that, like this is why this person reacts like that, or you spoke to this person in such a way, and that forces them into this role. It's all subconscious, and you don't realise you're doing it. But when you understand it, it's crazy.
Well, it's for me. It's like what Steve's very logical compared to me. At times I can be quite rational, and other times I can be quite logical. It does depend. I'm all over the place.
I'd probably say that's more for all three of us.
In different ways.
So, you definitely bounce between.
But for me, it's like what sort of Steve's touching on is, for me, reflection as well. Like looking back how I behaved over the sort of past. I'd probably say more so 2 or 3 years more than anything. Before that, I think I held my emotions and feelings when I was in a previous relationship.
I've definitely done the same,
for different reasons. You know, when you feel you're with different people, you open up more. Like I certainly couldn't have these sort of conversations with some people like I do with these boys, especially that one on the Xbox that night. Had that been a party full of people, you wouldn't be having that conversation.
That. And obviously, someone joined the party afterwards, and we were still like, okay, we'll stop that conversation now, because it was like, because that was a very like, okay, that was our conversation.
It was a turning point, wasn't it? It really was. It was a turning point for this as well. But like for me, like looking at sort of my mannerisms and my behaviour. At the time, you know, you look at it, you can't really see anything wrong, but when you look back on reflection, you think, why the fuck did I do that?
That's crazy.
I pushed people away, I hurt people that I loved and I cared for. And I'm not just talking about relationships, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about rudeness to people in shops. I'm talking about, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a rude guy, but at times there's, alright, I'll do this as an example, okay? I called my counsellor Trouble, right? So when I walked up to her, all right, Trouble, how are you getting on?
Right.
This is before I've entered the room to have my counselling, right?
Right.
Okay, and I would, you know me, boys. That's how I address most people. All right, Trouble. All right, Bert. All right, Nigel, how you getting on? That kind of stuff. I shook her hand like I would do, so I didn't sexualise it in any way. I didn't make her feel. So it was still like a male, hey keeping kind of thing. As soon as I walked in the room, I take my shoes off. Okay, I do it every time. And she was like, "You're the only one that ever does that." Okay, so I'm like, sweet.
Maybe say it. It's a bit weird. But
I always take my shoes off. Obviously, I mean, I generally would do here as well, as you know, when I went up the carpet. And we sat down, and from that point on, I'm not going to say her name just because of whatever, but she's my counsellor. I call her by her name. It's not all right, Trouble, all right, babe, all right, girl. It's none of that. When I enter that room, it's different. Do you know what I mean? I respect her differently. She then called me out and said that she doesn't like being called Trouble. Okay, and at the time I had a problem with that. Right, because I thought.
Oh, I actually turned around and said.
She said I don't like. She said I don't like being called Trouble, and I said I appreciate that. I said, but however, I address you differently outside of this room than what I would do when I'm in this room, because this is a professional. I'm paying for our professional bubble, right? But when she broke it down, and when she said how it made her feel uncomfortable, now I wouldn't normally take into consideration how I make people feel when I greet them. And what she was saying, and it may or may not be true. However, it's something I've got to accept because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. Is it, regardless of what I'm saying, regardless of what I do, I've got to take into consideration how I make someone else feel.
That
empathy, right? And I've never considered that before. You know, and it's like when I meet someone in the gym, all right, bruv, all right, do you know what I mean? And I'm all right, John. But what if my name's not John? Well, no, I'm not saying your name's John, but that's what. Do you know what I mean?
It's like another height.
Well, hang on a minute. Why are you calling me John for? And I probably made someone feel uncomfortable at some point from that sort of, you know, because you're a big intimidating guy, and I've never really thought of it like that. But upon reflection, right? Obviously, like I said, reflection, accountability is everything. I don't want to make people feel like that. No. So now I'm making a conscious effort to not address people how I want to address them and how they want to be addressed.
How you want to be addressed.
Hey, what's your name, kind of thing, that sort of stuff. I'm not trying to chat you up. I'm not trying to get your number. And then you know where you stand, right?
I think that's a whole different topic as well. Like, obviously, I'm not trying to get your number. That's a massive thing.
That rejection.
But it's like a massive thing as well, isn't it? Because obviously, something again, like going off what you've just said. Like, if you were in a gym and you're a bird, or you're on the street and you're a bird, female, and what's your name? Like 9 times out of 10, I think that's, oh, I've got a boyfriend.
Yeah. I'm not asking you that. Yeah.
I don't want to say your name.
Well, that's what I said to her. I said, I'm not trying to put you in a bracket. I'm not trying to sexualise this.
Yeah.
That's just how I greet people. And she said, yeah, but have you ever taken into consideration how people would feel when you greet them? Well, no, I haven't.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And that's an interesting point for me. That was sort of a bit like a turning point. I felt embarrassed, man. I felt.
So the interesting, see, straight away I'm fucking trying to spin that on logic, because I'm going. So did she actually not like being called trouble, or did she just make that up?
I think she was testing me. In my
that's
opinion.
my point.
So
now
she
I'm
was
analysing
testing me.
her, analysing you.
Wow. But then also, then you can then turn around and say, well, that's a victim triangle there.
Yeah,
because I've taken control of the situation. I've gone, you're trouble, and she's gone, well, no, I'm not trouble. And I've gone, fucking hell, I'm so sorry. I'm the victim now because do you know what I mean? It's like that whole sort of conversation's opened the doors. But with that in mind, don't overanalyze it. Listen to what people want.
Yeah.
Communicate with people.
Something so simple as that as well.
Yeah.
I don't like being called trouble. Instead of being like, well, why not? And okay, well, fine.
But for me,
I know that there's a few people. I don't know whether you'll remember it's the same guy. Doesn't like being called fella.
Yeah.
Never crossed my mind before, but again, it's just such a generic kind of term.
Yeah.
You're right, fella. Like, I never thought anything about it, but to think that there's people out there that almost take an offence probably a bit of a strong word for it, but it's borderline. But you know, they don't like that. What you just use as a throwaway term. There's no ownership to that.
No, it's not. There's no respect to that as well.
Well, no,
and that's the same. If you go to a woman and go, "Oh, trouble," I ain't trouble. Like I've got a couple of kids at home. You know what I mean? I'm not that kind of girl.
Yeah.
But then you get another lady.
We'll take it as a.
We'll be like, yeah, like that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I ain't trouble. You know,
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
But it opens the doors.
Yeah, but that is definitely getting harder and harder in this day and age.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've got to respect it. I think with the genders, I'm not going to go into that. I've got my opinions on that. But what I'm saying is, margarita pizza, pepperoni pizza, the rest can fuck off. That's all I'm saying, right?
It's a simple analogy, love it.
Simple analogy.
Love it.
Yeah. And garlic bread and garlic bread with
I've never heard the
cheese.
pizza analogy.
That's
That's
good.
Honestly, the rest of it, mate.
Like ham pineapple.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
In the bin you go.
It gets a bit too fruity then.
But yeah, no, I never thought of it like that. And do you know, a bit of me, back in the day, obviously I would have been like, fuck it, I don't want to spend time with you. If I can't address you how I want to address you.
Yeah.
You're going to take offence to
Do you know
something.
what I mean? And if you look back at my previous relationships, or that's probably at times where I've gone, I've probably gone, nah, fuck off. And really I should have gone, do you know what, you're absolutely right, I shouldn't have mugged you off like that.
It's like you said, the empathy and the understanding
It
from
is,
the other point,
but-
like trying to put your foot in their shoe type thing.
Yeah,
Fucking
100%.
mad. How long have you been doing that and not even realised?
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you've known me
And
for
you've
years,
been
right?
schooled in 1 fucking minute.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Shit!
I know. I mean, God forbid if I was trying to date her, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you stand a chance with it. So.
No, mate, no, I
Well,
don't.
especially you call it trouble straight away.
I know.
Like,
Well, my problem is I wouldn't remember her name.
You got so many on the go, have you?
Oh yeah, clearly, yeah. Let's not get into that. No.
There's only two in there.
My-
Oh dear.
shit. Yeah. No, it's interesting. That is very interesting.
There's a few more things that I'll bring up as well, like from my counselling, and a few things that I was just raised.
Good insights.
It's really interesting because you know, at times where I've sort of broken things down. Right. Okay. There's times where I've broken things down, and I felt disappointed, and I felt ashamed, and I felt embarrassed. But at the same time, like I said earlier, there's a time to sort of listen and grow, and you turn that negative into a positive, and you can only learn from it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? From every mistake and every failure, you'll come that stronger.
Yeah.
Look at our lives.
Oh, mate.
Like every shit car we've had,
Oh,
every shit job we've had, you turn that into a positive, and what do you get?
Yeah,
Positive.
I don't regret any of my jobs.
I don't regret anything in life.
so
Even that one career that I still get pulled up on, but we might delve into that on a later date.
These things are covered. Anyway.
Because I was gonna come into that with what you were just saying. Well, we might delve into what I haven't made my mind up whether we'll talk about that yet. But trying to address someone that you don't know, especially out in public on the side of the street. What do you say? Because even it kind of gets back into the gender, which we don't really want to get too involved with. But it's Do you know what I mean? Even now, people can take offence when you say, "Excuse me, sir." Oh, okay, you're not.
I'm a
sir. You'd rather be
I'll
called
call you
that.
sir.
Or that.
The trouble is, you then default to, "Oh, excuse me, fella," or "Excuse me, mate." And I think, well, he's not my mate. I don't even know the guy. So
Yeah.
you think, well, okay.
Well, you know that, like,
And it's like
when you call someone mate, and I'm not your fucking mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that chip on the shoulder, and
those
it's
scenarios,
like,
and you think, right, how do you
how do you
start the
de-escalate
situation?
that?
Yeah, you try to diffuse it, and you're there maybe to diffuse the situation. You think, well, I don't even know how to address the guy, woman, whoever. It's crazy times. But yeah, to think of a little throwaway like a nickname or whatever you would call something like trouble or fella, love, darling, whatever.
You think
there must be a name for them kind of terms. I don't know what they are, but
I would say it's sort of a bit of slang, isn't it? It's almost a bit of modern slang.
You usually just throw a comment. You don't even think you probably didn't even realise you'd done it at the time. Absolutely crazy.
It's mad.
I don't think we somehow digress back to the same thing we were just talking about then, which is impressive.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Again, episode 1. There's no real subject to the pilot. It's just obviously like we're having this general conversation to see. Obviously,
learn a card for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say we should touch on
a
bit of our hobbies.
Yeah.
So just to sort of, we have touched on sort of cars and bikes. So we are banging into our cars and bikes, all three of us.
Anything
with engines, tits or tyres on it.
If it moves, we'll race it.
Or something else.
Can't race a house.
No, that's where you can't move it.
Unless it's one of those Dakar.
That's why I live in yours.
That is one of those Dakar man bands. The full one was.
Yeah, I see a clip one of them the other day.
Sick.
Mental.
Yeah.
It's like when you're flat out on your Dakar bike and you get overtaken by an apartment on wheels.
Yeah, mate.
It's the whole fucking van just comes
Do you know what baffles me in them is the suspension.
Oh, mate.
How much fucking
the travel, like the suspension travel.
It's ridiculous. It really is. But
anyway.
We're also into our sort of sports. By that I mean more gym, more than anything. I'm sort of into my boxing, casual, sort of every now and again when I fancy it and can be bothered.
Yeah, same. A dabble.
Have a little
Nothing
dabble.
special, but
yeah,
get slapped about.
That's sort of our sort of hobbies really. I do go football every now and again. I'm not going to tell anyone who sport because I'll get ridiculed. That's kind of it really. To be fair for us, we're all sort of busy, all doing something all the time.
We've all got full-time jobs. So
like me and Steve, we work 2 jobs, and Lewis works what would be equivalent to 3 or 4 jobs.
But in one place, yeah.
But in one place. So we spin a lot of plates.
Always put in the hours.
Yeah, we've always been grafters, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
That's the truth of it.
Yeah, early on, I think we all had the same mindset of like we do it early, so when we can do it, and then we can sort of chill out, later on in life, because none of us want to retire at 67, because we're dead by then. But
do you know what's nuts?
70 odd now, isn't it?
Is it 70 now?
They were talking
70
about
now.
71,
69 or 70.
No, that's what I mean.
That's what they're talking about pushing it to. It's still, I think, 65, and it's going to be going to 68.
67 for our generation. It is.
Yeah,
Shows what we know. We don't pay attention, but
don't pay attention to it anymore.
Because
we don't do it.
I have no doubt it'll be 70 odd by the time we get there, and you kind of think.
Yeah.
So obviously you touched on growth earlier and sort of how you've grown in the last couple of weeks, and so obviously you just said about how I mean you might be able to relate to this more so than obviously you when you said obviously no one wants to be working when they're 67. So now last year, maybe even 3 months ago, 4 months ago mainly, I would have sat there and said, when you said that, my comment would have been, I'll be dead by the time I'm 40. Isn't that fucking right?
You was always saying that.
Honestly, I always thought I'd be dead by the time I'm 40. But for the first time in my life, I can see beyond that. And honestly, mate, it's crazy. And it's literally like something's been lifted. A light has been lifted. A weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and I can finally see. Look, there is a future. There is a family out there for me. There is a partner out there for me. All these sort of things that I've had in my life, with all due respect, I never look forward to because of my mindset.
Yeah.
Just from away as a temporary thing.
Yeah, because I isolated myself. Because the truth is that I never valued myself enough to have those things.
Yeah.
I was showered with love, But in all my relationships I've been with, I've spent some time with some amazing women. I've had some amazing memories, and I am so fucking fortunate to have had that with those people. Yeah. But if you restrict yourself, you're not going to enjoy those things.
No.
A prime example was when I went on holiday last year. I'm not going to say who, what, with, when, where, and why. I'm sure someone will probably find out somewhere, or find a picture of me and budgie smugglers. I'll actually at some point we'll insert that in there because I've just bought some lovely Y fronts.
We'll put that in there now.
But I just remember sitting there at the pool. It was 35 degrees,
Nice.
absolutely beautiful. Felt the bollocks, tanned up to the nines. Had a few drinks, obviously with what was my partner at the time. I just sat there, I can't wait to get home. I literally sat there and thought, I hate this.
I remember you saying that.
I think I was actually texting you at the time. I was texting you and I was like, I just don't want to be here. She's like, no, it's fine, babe, it's fine. You know, we'll have a great time. We'll go out tonight, have a few drinks, and do you know, looking back now, and I was thinking that's such a shame that I allowed myself to feel like that.
Yeah.
I spent £3 to be there on that holiday, and for most of it, I didn't enjoy it because I was just so up here.
Didn't allow yourself to
I
relax.
didn't allow myself to relax, mate. You
Shut
know,
off.
honestly, mate, and that's not because of who I was with. That's not because of what I was
No,
experiencing.
it's just you personally.
It's just me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just me, and you know, and I remember there being times where we went out to, I think it was go-karting, and it was shit, but she was so happy to be there with me,
Yeah.
and I just sat there and thought, no, I've got to win and get home.
Right.
I mean, I'll win anyway. I will win anyway. I'm just saying that. I may be.
It must be due a new one, another one.
What, go-karting?
Go-karting or something.
So we'll go saw. We'll go to that electric one in Midway. It's 30 quid as well.
Oh, I see that.
Get out.
Yeah, end of the month maybe.
Yeah.
That's something we could sort out.
Try to work it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and I just remember sitting there thinking, do you know, like we met another couple out there and they were lovely, absolutely
Yeah.
lovely. And do you know, it got to the point where it was so shit at times I couldn't have my back to the door because I was paranoid. And that's not because of what I was doing or who I was with.
Exit situation.
Yeah, exit situation.
Yeah, mate.
I was reading number plates. All the guys that were walking past and looking at me, I was fucking ready to hurt
It's
people.
really fucking strange because I do the same thing now.
Yeah.
Like even now.
Get out of it, man.
But it's not like a. I don't find it a toxic. I don't find it a toxic masculinity thing.
No.
I think like that. That's just me. Like, I do it. I don't know why I do it. I just do it. You know.
See, I think
It is
I saw a lot more of. I've not really been many places recently with you. I saw a lot of you when you were in that moment, and there was one. It was one of the boys' birthdays down in Broadstairs, Cramptons, and I remember you being in that kind of mindset then. Of
I was hostile as fuck.
yeah, it
And
was.
I was, and do you know what? I made it difficult for everyone around me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you didn't let it show it too much. Obviously, anybody that really could pick up on it, like, knew you could pick up on it, and it was like you say, it was like you were watching your back for whatever reason. It's not like you've got any need to.
No.
You know, people might think worse because you're tattooed and you're a big guy, but it was like that you didn't have that lifestyle that warranted the way you was acting, and it was almost like you weren't trying to find it, but it was like you were looking for there to be a problem because you felt like there needed to be one.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And it was like you say, you were just watching your back. It was as if somebody was going to come and just come for you at some stage, and yet nobody was.
No.
And I knew nobody was. I knew the
Yeah,
lifestyle
do
you were living.
you know what I think it was? I think
And it was that more than I don't know too much about the exit strategy, but I heard about it. People always going, "Oh yeah, this is the way we get out. This is
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's getting a bit too close."
What
and,
we're
and
doing in
like
that
I say,
situation. This is what we're
I
doing.
think a lot of that maybe comes into just being, like I say, that side of the masculine energy.
Yeah.
I think that is healthy to a certain
Yeah,
point.
because we were talking about where I recently went to London with the missus, and you kind of walk around and you're watching out for her. She might not be paying
That's
attention.
it.
You go a
Guiding.
different way.
Yeah.
And you might, the old school thing of I'll walk closest to the road, and that sort of thing. And I think that absolutely fine, but there's probably, as with most things, there'll be that grey line where it starts to bleed into too much. Like say, if you're reading number plates and you're
Do you know what, mate?
just trying to stare at every guy that walks past you, that's when it's kind of like, actually, you're going to create more of a problem.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are looking
Yeah.
to solve one that's not really there.
Mate, and that's exactly what I've done. Obviously I don't know what the saying is, but it's kind of you are what you eat in that kind of respect. In terms of if you sort of manifest and manipulate yourself to such a certain extent,
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Self-manifesting.
And I remember we was at a
you
bar.
create a problem out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we was at a bar, and obviously everyone was drinking around me, right? And we had a lovely time with this other lovely couple. The geezer was an absolute helmet, and if you ever watch this, mate, I'll openly tell you to your face, you're a helmet. But I respected you, man to man. But you was a helmet. And obviously, the partner I was with at the time, she was having a drink, and the other guys were having a drink. And he do you want a drink, mate? Like, big man, you want to drink, that kind of stuff. How it always is.
Right.
No, I'm alright, man, I'll have water. That'll do me, so. And he come over, brought the waters over. And of course, they are a bit funny with women and that. Didn't touch the Doris that I was with at the time.
Yeah.
and he come over and he touched my shoulder, and he like put his arm around me, and he's like, "Big man, you're making me uncomfortable." And I remember I'd literally just bent his finger back, and I was like, "You're fucking making me uncomfortable, you little cunt." I was like, "Take your fucking hand off me and fuck off." No reason. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
No one else heard it because I like whispered it to him like, under my breath. But he was just being polite, man. He's like, "Oh, big man." Big man's a compliment, right, for me. But so I bent his finger back like that.
Yeah.
Really fucking hurt him.
Prison officer technique.
Yeah. And he pulled his hand away. And he's like, "Oh, all right." And he's like, "Oh, you know, you box and all this." Like trying to just be polite and create conversation. Do you know what I mean? And you know, and I was wearing like a quite tight fitted top, and I just said, "It's none of your business." But why was I so hostile?
Yeah.
Who was I protecting? What was I doing?
This is it. When you spin that with the whole empathy thing, it could have been, well, no, mate, I'm not trying to make you feel
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
I'm trying to make you feel comfortable. Drinks on me, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But because I was such a cock in such a silly situation,
Like that at the time, right?
and the thing is, I get it, right? I'm protecting my woman, I'm protecting my people I'm with. But at the same time, that protection comes at a cost, and that will come at the right time. That doesn't need to be done off.
Yeah, it doesn't.
When there's no threat.
When there's no threat, no fear.
You know.
Yeah.
The most dangerous man in the room is the most quietest in the room.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where I should have just stayed quiet, had my drink, and enjoyed the company and enjoyed the people I was with. But because I didn't allow myself to. I mean, and I ruined our night.
Yeah.
You know, all right, we did go back to the hotel, a lovely evening, and it was a really nice evening. But that's only because she was willing to let that go. Had she not let that go, as some women don't in relationships, that would have ruined the holiday, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it did actually ruin the holiday for the other couple because he behaved like a tit. And like I said, if you're watching, you're a tit. And it ruined it for them because he didn't know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
And you know, looking back, it was a real shame, man. And I would love to go back and not really if those men. It's not about the individuals, but I would love to make those changes to myself.
Yeah, and obviously that's the thing you accept. Like it's the moving forward side of it.
Yeah.
Like, you've accepted that's what you were like. You understand you understanding why you were like it.
Yeah.
And now you're moving forward with it, and obviously that's the main thing.
Accountability and reflection, right?
Yeah. Because you reflected on what you've done wrong.
And the thing is, this is one thing as well, guys, is that obviously I do watch a lot of videos, maybe some that I shouldn't do, and like we all do, and I'm not on about like weird porn. I'm on about like motivation, like motivational videos, and
that's where this has gone.
You know, some of them can be quite dark and quite sinister, and I generally believe that some of it, depending on how you can take it, can be quite brainwashing.
Yeah.
But it's the same with anything, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with anything. But what you can't change is the past, right? And you cannot change the future, but what you can change is the present and start making changes for the future. And ultimately, accountability, reflection, and everything in between is where it fucking starts.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
And that's why we're here. Yeah.
That is why we're here.
It's like you said, it's not to get to the bottom of anything. It's just to see, like you said, it's just how we progress in this, and you know how it all comes together.
It's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the start of our journey.
This is basically an online journal.
Yeah,
let's have it right.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on some topics. We're probably going to maybe upset some people if they do watch it, actually if they don't. And we might meet some good friends along the way, whatever it may be. But more importantly, this is a journey of three blokes, working class geezers. We haven't got no silver spoon. You know what I mean? We
never had a silver spoon.
None of us have had that, mate.
Given
You know, we all come from the same school, different years. We all had very similar cars growing up. We all worked very similar jobs growing up. We've all done sort of spanners at some point. All sort of digressed off into different sectors. And
just moved up as we went along.
Just moved up, and basically, where does that come from? That comes from hard work.
I mean, you laugh about that.
No,
say
it's
that,
true. Yeah.
But you have, like, you know, you might.
It was
have
only recently for me that I felt really. I mean, I bounced down quite a bit in terms of the type of career. The career choices were obviously quite out there.
Yeah, but you say that, but then every single one you've learnt from.
Yeah, like I said earlier, don't regret any of them.
No,
and massive learning curves in all of them. Different skill sets from all of them as well. And great people along the way as well.
Mate, great people. And that's brought us to where we are now. Yeah. Being in this house, having the things that we have, and working hard like we have.
Being in this house.
I really think that this could be a positive thing for us moving forward and for everyone involved. And you know, it's a real positive movement. This is about positivity, venting off, talking a bit of shit, and ultimately having a smile and a laugh and getting through each week and making changes for the future.
Definitely. We will have a more
think we'll go for a proper scope next week, maybe.
Yeah, we'll have a proper scope next week. Again, this is us. This is, you'll start seeing how obviously we all work and how everything comes together. But yeah, next week we'll have a proper rundown for our first week. We hopefully won't digress so much.
I think we will.
We were talking about hobbies and then we started talking about this.
Yeah.
So we started talking about bikes and the Dakar running and then we started talking about this.
That's true. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, that's like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So
I think a few things that we could sort of look at as well is, working maybe, depending on time, with sort of a local community sort of thing. Obviously we've got Callum owns hairdressers near us.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
A few plugs and that as well. A few sponsors.
Started that on his own. That was impressive.
Yeah.
See where that's come from, where it started.
Inspiration, mate. It is, and we've all got inspiration.
Literally, I was there. I think it was the day before he opened, and the night before, and it was literally a geezer staggered out of the pub, and that was his first haircut. What are you doing in here, mate? He's like, I'm opening a barber shop. He's like, oh, cut my hair now. It's like, yeah, you can have a free beer if you want. And honestly, I've never seen a guy perk up so much. It was crazy. To see where that's come from now, literally his first haircut and a guy walked straight out of a pub to now they're stacked every day, aren't they?
Well, flat out.
Trying to get in, if you want a last minute thing.
I'm booked in tomorrow. Get mine done every week.
That's every week.
Yeah, I've not been in a while, you can probably tell.
Yeah.
Not much need from a barber apart from down here anymore. But
You do need to get yours done.
Yeah.
That make you feel good.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Shit and a shave and a nice beard trim.
yeah, it does make a difference. As much as trim it up myself, when someone else does that and they get it on point.
Yeah, when they get it on point, that's the problem.
Yeah.
When they get it on board.
Might get your end away then. Got more chance than me, bruv.
Trying to stitch me up here, yeah.
I don't know about that, mate.
Let's not go there. Yeah, so I think that'll do, won't it, for today?
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
Round it off just over now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's us now. What we need to sort of find our feet with the old YouTube thing as well. Sort of how long we can upload. I don't know if there's sort of time constraints anymore. Do you remember it used to be 11 minutes?
Was that YouTube, was it?
It used to be 11 minutes.
No, you can use quite long uploads now.
Yeah.
Again, everything's changed quite a lot. This is fun.
Okay.
What takes the longest in uploading is obviously what your internet connection is.
Yeah.
So luckily my upload's really good.
Oh,
So it takes fuck all time.
fucking hell, easy.
Yeah.
Your big head just hit me.
You'd be moving in soon.
Yeah. Oh, me?
Yeah, we'll clear that remit. Well, and that is how I ended up moving in there. It was a throwaway conversation like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a throwaway conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Steve lives with me.
Yeah.
Us, we live together. With my partner. Not with my partner, but...
Gay.
We don't share this in the bedroom, so it's all good. Like I said, we still get used to how it's actually going to work with YouTube. We're going to have a fettle around with the editing stuff.
Yeah, I think you will.
Probably.
No, you will. You're already buzzing for it, mate.
To be fair, dig out the laptop, see what I can get on there. Not that I have free time whilst at work much, but
No,
you're very
you're
busy
very
at
busy.
work.
Stacked.
yeah. So that we might be able to make something work around that.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. So
Charlie's going to send a picture of him in budgie smugglers so we can put it into that
see,
video.
if I want to at that point, I'd be like, yeah, look, this picture of this is how he used to look, and this is what he looks like now.
No, not
Yeah,
yet.
just ping that out. Yeah, well, I'll dig some out. I've got some pictures of you.
Oh, mate, I'll do it myself. I don't mind.
It's pictures of me as well, yeah. I've got some of you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right, I think we'll call that one there then.
Yeah, cool.
On that note.
On that note,
Yeah, like and subscribe, guys. Obviously, if you are going to watch this, I don't think many people will
Put
watch.
that one in the shower.
I don't think many people will watch this at first, to be fair. I think they might end up going back to it, probably. I think probably be the way it'll go.
I
Quite
think
possibly,
obviously
yeah.
the more we do and the more exposure, then obviously the more then later on videos.
In terms of content, this isn't.
In terms of content,
this is just us having a chat, but it might interest some people. Who knows? But
Yeah.
like I said, it's more for ourselves than it will be them. But yeah, be interesting.
We all go to the gym. I'm losing weight. Steve's gaining muscle. Charlie's
Trying.
I'm just sort of staying at home, to be fair.
Yeah, still
trying to find-
trying
to decide where you're
going. Yeah.
I'm just fat.
So that'd be interesting to see how much weight I lose, how much weight Steve tries to gain.
And I'll just jump on shitloads of gear. Definitely won't. No.
No, it's bad.
Stay away from test.
Natty.
Stay natural. But yeah, all the best, guys. Like I say, like and subscribe. Probably be uploaded weekly, sort of fortnightly kind of thing. We will be filming every weekly for definite.
For definite.
Making it work with shifts. But
Well, yeah, and obviously we'll try and upload weekly. So I think that'd be good. Consistency.
Yeah.
Because then obviously for all of us it's consistency as well. Be able to actually talk about what we've been doing for the past week as well, and get it all out in the open, so we're at a baseline every single week.
I think it shows progress as well.
Yeah,
It's a good time scale on it. But for those that are watching, enjoy and
thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend or whichever time this is we upload it, and just remember, just keep your head up and start a new beginnings, right?
Stay positive.
Ciao.